Hey guys. You guys all good? How's everybody doing? Sorry, I was just setting up our GoPro. As you all are aware of, we are starting a YouTube channel. It's going to be a lot of behind the scenes. You guys are going to get a little bit of a more in-depth view of our life and what we go through, which is kind of cool. We're nervous about it for the most part. We are nervous. We're nervous about it. We're a little nervous about it because I just had the big talk with Valerie and Brianna and everybody. We know it. We are very transparent people, very busy in our lives, and we do go through a lot. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of events that transpire in the background that nobody really sees or knows about. So I think it's going to be fun for the most part. I think it's going to do a lot of good for a lot of people because of how me and Valerie conduct ourselves, how we are as a couple. It's going to show that, like we talked about before, right? No couple, no marriage is perfect. No children are perfect. And it is what it is. And it's about living and learning and growing, which is what we're all about. We're all about, utter vulnerability really is what it boils down to. So in saying that, my friends, how is everybody doing? Adrian, Joshua, what's up? My life sister wifey. Oh, Casey's here. D, the video I did with Brianna made me cry. You know what? I gotta tell you, every time I watch it, I cry. I do. Every time I watch that video, it does make me cry because of everything that's happened and how she went from where she was to where she is now. A lot of people don't know the backstory with Brianna and her being, almost kicked out of school and doing less than 50s. 50 was probably one of her best marks, her best grades through high school. It was a very pivotal moment for Brianna. Graduating high school, I wasn't able to be there. I wasn't able to be there when she graduated high school, and I knew that was a big, huge stepping stone into this new life for hers. And I knew what it meant to her that I wasn't there. It till this day, she still brings it up. She'll never let me live that down. So being able to be here for her when she graduated college was huge. And a lot of times when you're watching videos, it's very hard to allow the audience to understand what is going on in such a short period of time. And I don't think a lot of people realize that when you're doing a video like that with Brianna, yeah, it's great to see and it's awesome on one level. But I think when you get to know us and you understand those stories and everything else that's behind it, it hits differently. It's on such a deeper level, which why I think my PR manager insisted that we start this YouTube channel. People like her, Roger, my partner, a lot of people that are involved directly with our lives, they see what we go through. They see what we do. They see every aspect of our life from, every angle. And I think that's one of the main reasons why they push so hard for us to make sure we get these vlogs out, just to bring people to a deeper level of what it is that we do and an understanding of the dynamics between us as a family. So yes, the video dynamic fine, Bohemia, a Caputo view of life. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I spoke to the editor today, so we have somebody who is in charge of just editing our videos. We'll be dumping everything to her, which is awesome. I'm so excited. She has been a huge help. You'll meet the entire team. You're going to end up meeting everybody on these vlogs, which is cool. So it's exciting. We're excited. We're very excited. Did you receive my email, Joshua? Not yet. Today has been a very overwhelming and busy day for me, but I guarantee I will check it. Hello, Rebecca. Still doing my best to survive the shark infested minefield called life. You know, I hear that a lot, right? We do our best to survive. You know, every day is survival. Have you ever thought about just surrendering? We don't think about that, right? We think about what would be the effects of surrendering. Try it. I know it's hard. I know it's scary, but I can promise you right now, nothing's going to happen. I give you my word on it. You know, I lived the life of based on, you know, straight up survival. It was just survival. That's all I wanted to do. I just survive, survive, survive. Until I realized, well, what is it? What is it that I'm fighting? You know, what is it that I'm fighting? What is it that is taking so much of my energy? And it was always the wrong things. You know, once we're able to surrender, you're not giving up. You're not failing. You will see the strength that you actually do possess. You know, try it. Believe me, try it. I am just getting ready to go celebrate my daughter Melissa's 35th birthday. Rebecca, please say happy birthday from us. Kim, I'm awesome, Kim. How are you? So you're going to Roman Atwood style videos. Bobby, yes and no. Roman Atwood, I know, is based solely on pranks. And I know all our hugely mega viral videos were done on pranks. You will see the background stuff that goes into how we make a TikTok. It's a lot of fun. It's quite entertaining because Valerie and Brianna are, you know, they're kind of pains in the asses. So that's why we do a lot of pranks, because they don't have to act and I can just do the freaking video. A lot of times, a lot of the videos that we do have dialogue for, that we have put together, that was more like a scripted video. You guys are gonna on what goes behind those videos, and you're gonna truly understand. You're gonna appreciate those videos. I'll tell you that right now. When you watch the behind the scenes and then you see the video on TikTok, you're just gonna be shaking your head. You're gonna be like, oh my God, if TikTok only knew what went on behind the scenes of this video and the making of, it'd be incredible. Wishmaster, hello, Mandy. Good evening, Anthony, and everyone. Hello, Mandy. Alexa, I'm so excited. Alexis is here. I'm so excited, proud of you, our manager and good friend. We met on TikTok. I fell in love with her attitude and her personality. She has been a huge influence in us starting this YouTube channel. She has been on my butt every single day for the past 4 weeks now. Actually, probably longer. And you know, I have all, it's all the best. I got everything here ready to go. I probably do need maybe one or two, at least one more GoPro, one more GoPro, just to make sure. But I totally got off topic there. Yes, Alexis has, you know, been a huge help in what we do. And so thank her for us putting this YouTube channel together, because if it wasn't for her, there's no way I would have ever have done this. She convinced us. She made some very valid points, like I told you guys before. You know, and once she said she you know, Alexis is she's on because Alexis is on board because she sees what we do for people. She sees how we help people. She sees the magnitude of impact we've had on so many people, and she's like, I just want to be involved. I want to help. So when she said that to us, I really take in what she says, and I really respected what she said because of that. So it's going to be interesting when you see the dynamics and everything that goes on in the life of the crazy Caputos. Where are we, Casey? Fake it till you make it. No faking it. When does step when or step 5 start, I am not sure. You might want to ask Roger. Send an email to info@iamhere.org, and they definitely will let you know, Karen. I'm a cop out by definition. Surrendering would mean I'm a cop out. Absolutely not. You are being a cop out doing what you are doing. Okay, you're being a cop out because you're not truly giving yourself the credit, recognition, and allowing yourself to enjoy this journey of life. Okay, you are fighting a battle that does not exist. That's what anxiety that does to us. That's what depression. That's what all these factors. That's what it does to us. We fight a battle that does not exist, and we miss out and we lose out on so much that life has to offer, and it's really not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. I'm gonna go live on TikTok as well because I definitely want to get some stuff in here. So I'm going to do that so everybody is aware, so I can go live on every platform and we're good. I'm going to set up the GoPro because I'm going to record. So we got everything. That way we can start. Actually, I'll leave the GoPro. No, I'll get the footage. No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it. So, okay. I surrendered all because of you. I used to think I'd have to fight every day. Nope, taking the program and changing my diet. I'm living life. I've had bad days, but we all do. Absolutely, we do. And when we surrender to those bad days, when we surrender to that, what happens? Was it really as bad as you thought it was? Or was the anxiety and the depression, these factors in you living like that? When you think about it, and you think about how anxiety works and what it does to us, it really does worse than good. It does more harm than good, because the effects of anxiety, when you are trying to control everything, and you're living that type of mindset, it stops you from being present. It stops you from being aware and fully understanding and enjoying life. So it's really, really, it's not worth it. It's not. Will your younger kids be in the videos too? Our younger kids will be in our videos. It's going to be our entire family. That's why with TikTok, we're not really able to have our kids on the videos or on the lives. So I figured with a YouTube vlog, it's going to be more of the crazier stuff. It's going to be a lot of action on our YouTube channels. Because like I said, we live a crazy life. I live a crazy life. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of stuff going on. Every day it's something insane. So it'll be fun. Ray, hello, Ray. How are you, hun? My bro, you're missing out. What happened? May I ask what GoPro you need? I'm using the Hero, what I need or what I'm using. I'm using the Hero 9. Hi, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm doing a live on YouTube as well. But I'm using the Hero 9. That's the GoPro I chose because it had some amazing features on it. Very easy to use, too. Boomy, he's talking to me. Seems a bit tips. I don't know what's going on there, but you guys are amazing no matter what. Aw, Kim, thank you. I hope you guys like it. I do. Where are we? Wilberth Milkware. Hello, how are you? Casey in his own fault. He told me to go live. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Oh, snap, I can't do both. You missed the chicken dance. So I'm having a horrible day. I will allow my family and their words. I allow my family and their words to hurt me. That does happen a lot. We do get affected a lot by words of other people. You have to question where that comes from. When you're secure internally, words of others will not bother you. It's a lot of times when we hold that guilty conscience, words do bother us and they do hurt. A lot of times, and I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong or that in a negative factor, but what I am saying is when you're able to accept who you are and stand in it, people will not affect you. If you look at the hate that we've gone through, on TikTok, for example, we put out a couple of videos, and there's videos out there. The one where we pranked when Brianna fell asleep, for example, we got a lot of hate on that video. Brianna, stepped up to the table and told everybody, listen, it isn't what it is. It's not what people think it is. So at the end of the day, it didn't bother us. because we understood, we know who we are, we know what our purpose is, we know what it is that we're doing and why we're doing these things. There's not much anybody's going to say that can hurt me. I'm not going to allow it to, because this is my life, and at the end of the day, for me, it's about understanding, it's about accepting, and it's about being vulnerable. you know we struggle. We struggle with that sometimes, being vulnerable, because a lot of people really don't understand the true meaning of vulnerability. And a lot of people think that every time I've been vulnerable, I've been hurt. That could be it sometimes. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that, because when you're vulnerable, you're opening yourself up. When you're being vulnerable, you are opening yourself up. But what comes out of that is a lot of experience. It's a lot of education. It's a lot of learning. So you open yourself up, something happens. But now the thing is here, when you run from that incident that hurt you, you are automatically being naive. And that's where a lot of people, they don't recognize that. They don't recognize that, it's like the riding the bike story that I tell everybody, right? You get a child who learns how to ride a bike for the first time. They're being vulnerable. They're being vulnerable. They're getting on something that they have no idea what it's about. They get on it, they fall, they hurt themselves. Now they run. They don't want to go onto the bike anymore. Now, what happened is they just went from a vulnerable mindset to a naive mindset. So you guys tell me what's better. I would love to hear your answer on that. What is better, being vulnerable or being naive? The child who started to try to learn that bike was vulnerable. They fell and they hurt themselves. Then they ran from that bike saying, I'll never go near a bike again. It hurt me. Bikes are evil. Bikes are bad. I never want to see it again. Because every time they look at that bike, they're remembered by the pain of it. Now they run from it. Now they're being naive. So this is where life, these things happen in life that cause us to go down this path, this narrow mindset where these things hurt us. We create false realities, because that's what that child did. That child riding that bike for the first time and hurting themselves, they created this false reality that bikes are bad. But now what happened was, that is something that they stored in the subconscious mind. The conscious mind doesn't register that. It doesn't understand that. It only understands whatever the subconscious mind is telling them. So there is that certain freedom with riding a bike. Now comes the summertime, and that child's friends are all riding bikes, and they see the freedom. They're with their family. They're riding to the store. They're riding to the park. Now that child's going to get a subconscious depression. It's going to cause a lot of harm to that child's self-esteem, all because they believe that all bikes would hurt them. Because they went from having a vulnerable mindset to get on that bike to hurting themselves, to now having a naive mindset saying, all bikes are going to hurt me. I don't like bikes. I don't want to go near that bike. We do this a lot. And as we get into adulthood, we really lose that relationship with vulnerability. We really do. So we need to be mindful of that. Where are we? Anxiety stops our life, and we get stuck in that moment. Exactly what I did. I used to always stay home because it was my comfort zone. Now I get out, do my shopping and beach days. And Mandy, see, it didn't take long. You and I only worked together a little bit, a handful of times, and it didn't take long. And you were suffering from anxiety for, I think it was over 2 years. It doesn't take long once you're able to break through that mindset and really just surrender and have a little bit of vulnerability left inside of you to be able to open your eyes. Miss Ray, you're truly a ray of light in my life. I'm sorry you're having a crummy day. I just know Jojo and I love you much. So glad to have you as a part of my family. Oh, Miss Ray, that's so sweet, Ray. Joshua, anxiety made my depression and ruined my happiness. Absolutely, because that's what it does. It lies to you, right? It allows these false realities to start taking over our life, right? I used to be vulnerable, of course. Alexis, yes, you have helped me understand the true meaning of vulnerability. Oh, Alexis, awesome. Honestly, I don't know. Wilbert, it's Ray. My first name is Will. Okay. My feelings are minimized. My dad doesn't ever understand why something hurts me. They just say I am too sensitive. So listen, you have valid points, right? Even if you are, let's say you are too sensitive. Let's say you are, there's no such thing as too sensitive, but let's say in their eyes that you are very sensitive. That's you. Embrace it, but understand it. We look at the what, and you're going to hear me talk about this all the time. The what is the words that they've used towards you. Try looking at the why. Why do those words bother you so much? And once you think that you've had that answer, go deeper and continue to go deeper and never stop asking yourself why. Why is such a powerful word. And the more you ask it, the more you're going to understand and you're going to learn. But when you're vulnerable and reach out to people, they run away and you're left with being alone and hurt. Well, this is the thing. Life is filled with lessons. Maybe you're running to the wrong people. We don't really look at us. We're always deflecting. I was vulnerable and I ran to those people and they ran away. Okay, so you're blaming them? You get what I'm saying? It's not on them. It still goes back to being on you. You cannot put that responsibility on other people. This life is yours. It's about you. You are your best person to stand in your corner for you. This is your life. These are lessons you need to learn. It shouldn't stop you from having a vulnerable mindset, because now you're being naive. That you're going from, once upon a time you were vulnerable to now all of a sudden you're being naive. But when you're vulnerable and you reach out to people, they run away and you're left being alone and hurt. So let me close back up again and continue to live in this naive world. Well, Casey, where has that gotten you in life? That's my question to you. Has living in this bubble and not allowing people in or opening up to people have the effect that it's had on you? How has that affected your life? Does that make sense? You get what I'm trying to say? Because when you think about it, these people, it's not their responsibility. You're deflecting things onto them, right? Yep. Or my mom always said, it's all in my head and for attention. Well, this is the thing with anxiety. When we're talking about anxiety, when we're talking about depression, it is all in our heads. The issue is that is something that is very real. So they're not entirely wrong that anxieties and depression reside in our head. They do, but they're very real. They're very, very, very real. But the beauty thing is when we talk about anxiety and depression and it residing in our minds, it is something that we are able to overcome. We can live a very amazing, positive, influential, successful life with it. Considering, the effects that anxiety has, it still goes back to mindset. It still goes back to perspective. And that's the bottom line. That's the reality of it. Where are we? Clearly haven't found anyone yet. And listen, life isn't about finding anybody else, but finding yourself. Casey, I'm sorry. You're still putting that responsibility and deflecting that on other people. Ask yourself the question, do you truly love yourself? Are you truly happy with where you are and who you are right now in life? So, I know the answer to that question. So the reality is how is anybody else supposed to come into that? And why would you expect, or why would you want anybody else to come into that? It doesn't make sense, right? It's not about finding anybody first. It's about finding yourself. And the second you can find yourself, the second you have pure, true happiness within, internally, you'll find somebody. Casey, then let them run. They need to understand it's not just them. Listen, that's exactly him. Yeah, it's them. That has nothing to do with you. It's them. That's on them. I don't know who I am anymore. We talk about this all the time, right? We talk about this. I don't know who I am anymore. Why? Why don't you know who you are? A lot of people, even when we do these lives, when we talk, you're trying to tell me about things. No, I've been naive. I've been vulnerable, and people run and hurt me. So this is how I'm living. And then the next thing, it's like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Well, these patterns are causing this behavior because you're creating these false realities because you're allowing yourself to be subjected to this naive mindset. Because you're creating these false realities, because the real Casey wouldn't give a shit if anybody ran. That's their loss. I'm going to keep trucking on and keep living my life and doing the best thing for me. But because you're putting that responsibility and deflecting that on people, what happens? You start creating these false realities. Now, all of a sudden, it's, I don't even know who I am anymore. Right? So So, last few weeks I've been lower than usual. Been constantly thinking about my nan and her not remembering who I am. Luke, that's a tough one. That is hard. That is hard. But this is the thing, and you've heard me say this a million times. These memories, we still need to go back to those times where we had your nan, where she was okay. You got to remember something when you're asking why. So, for that, for example, and this is a perfect example of what I say. You go deeper. So Luke says, the last few weeks have been hard for him because now his grandmother is obviously going through something terminal and she's slowly forgetting who people are around her. Of course, that's hard. That's horrible. But now you have to ask the question, why is that horrible? It's not just the obvious, guys. Because the obvious thing that everybody would say right now is, well, of course, the why of it being horrible is because his grandmother is losing her memory and forgetting who people are. Wait a second, though. Why is that bothering you, though? Well, because it's my grandmother. Okay. There's many people out there that have grandparents and kids and that they don't give a shit about them. They don't have that relationship. So why is that bothering you? Well, because I loved her. Okay. Go deeper. Why do you love her? Because it's my grandmother. That's not good enough. You have to go deeper. Once you go deeper and go below that level, you'll start appreciating what I'm trying to tell you. Because now what's going to happen is you're going to remember why you love her, what she's done for you, the influence she's had in your life, the memories you have with her, how she was as a person when she was there. She gave you this amazing memory. She gave you this capsule of why it hurts so much. And it's going to hurt. But when you're able to explore the capsule of why it hurts so much, that will help release certain chemicals that will help allow your subconscious mind to bring forth these memories that you have of her. And that will definitely change your energy when you look at her. It will be a totally different energy now looking at her, because we look at what's in front of us and we allow the what to bother us all the time. Life is not about the what. Life is about the why. The what is the destination. The what is what's going to happen. The what is the meaning of life, right? But we don't stop and look at the why. We never stop and concentrate on the why. The why is the journey. So I would ask you, what is more important, life or your destination of life? It's a question that we can argue that both. The reality is we all know where our destination lies. We all know where our destination lies. The second we were born 1 second closer to death. So we know that death is our destination. So to me, the most important part of that is the journey. That is what is going to have the most impact in our lives, and not only our lives, people around us. So stop looking at the what and pay attention to the why. Okay? Where are we here? Sorry, guys, I'm losing all these comments. Luke, I'm terribly sorry to hear that about your nan. My heart goes to you. I hope my advice, you understood what I meant and I was able to help you. Bobby, I'm trying to tell my family what I'm going through is like tell a dead cat to get up and walk away. Bobby, I get it. Not a lot of people understand it. And the reality of this is a lot of times when you're explaining things to people and these people, a lot of people, okay, come to me and they're like, my husband doesn't understand, my wife doesn't understand. These people just don't get it, and they come down on me and they're hard on me when anxiety and depression are these things that happen in my life. This is the reality. We get a lot of resentment towards these people, and I didn't understand it either. But the problem is, and the issue is things like anxiety and depression, more so anxiety. We create these false realities, okay? And we are functioning on a different energetic playing field. We aren't the easiest people to deal with. Let's face the facts, guys. I don't mean to be rude, but we're definitely not the easiest people to deal with when we're living with anxiety. A lot of shit we do doesn't make sense. A lot of our mood swings really are hurtful to other people. They don't understand it. And like you said it earlier, a lot of what we do is based on survival. That's our brain's only function. Our brain's only function is for us to survive. That's all it does. Okay. So anxiety is no fucking joke. It's no fucking joke. It messes us up like you wouldn't believe. So we aren't acting the way we normally would. We do become irrational. Anxiety causes a lot of turmoil in our lives. And saying that, coming from somebody like me who helps people every single day with anxiety, it's not fucking easy helping people overcome anxiety. It's not. I am very aggressive because I kind of got to like shake you out of that, you know, because when you're in the fight or flight response, there's no rational thinking. There's logic goes out the window. Okay, you're functioning with less than 50% of your IQ every time you're in that state, whether you're mad or going through a fight or flight response. In saying that, it's hard. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people cannot, you know, sympathize with people that are suffering. It doesn't mean that they don't love us. It doesn't mean that they don't care for us. A lot of times when people around us that love us and care for us so much that they can't help us and they feel helpless, they push it away. It's a natural response that a lot of people have. They blow it off. So I don't want you to think that you explaining anxiety and how you're feeling and all these things to your family like they don't care about you, because that's not the case for the most part. For the most part, that's not the case. A lot of times is they care deeply and they just don't know what to do. They feel helpless. They feel hopeless, you know, so you definitely have to have an open mind towards that and keep that into consideration. Okay. I'm tired of being asked why I'm in a bad mood even when I'm not. So that's a good one, because I used to think the same thing. It's your energy. It's your energy. You might think, you know, you're not in a bad mood, but your energy is showing otherwise. You know, I'll tell you why. It's because when you create these false realities, this is where I said, when you're always looking at the what, we are functioning like robots. If you guys ever seen the movie Click, sorry guys on TikTok, I am doing my YouTube live as well. I am so sorry, guys. I will be going back and forth though. So anyways, you ever see the movie Click? The Click movie with Adam Sandler. It doesn't matter what time I watch that movie. I could be watching that movie at 4 o'clock in the morning. You bet your ass I'm waking up my whole fucking family and we're going camping. We're doing something. I don't give a shit what it is, but it's like a huge slumber party. Now that we're starting our vlog channel on YouTube, I guarantee you guys will see what I'm talking about. But this is the reality of it. That's how I was living. If you watch that movie, Adam Sandler became a robot because it was always fast forward to that next destination. Okay, that's all it was with him. And if you really, really paid attention to that movie, that's exactly what it is like living with anxiety. Because every bad situation that occurred in Adam Sandler's life, he would fast forward. That's how our brains function. So you can be somewhere and be living with high levels of anxiety that you've become comfortable with, which is not normal. It's not normal to have that much anxiety. But you become numb to it. You become comfortable with it and you create these false realities. Okay. You create these false realities. So now you are living in that robotic state of mind. So now people around you are like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like, holy shit, this guy's messed up. Or why is he in such a bad mood? And I'm like, I'm not. Well, you are, because you're not present. You're not aware. And that is a very, very good movie to watch to try and understand on how we are living. Because then he wakes up one day and it's like, who the fuck am I? What the fuck happened to my life? My wife's with another guy. My kids don't even talk to me. This person doesn't even, who am I? That's a perfect example of how we live with anxiety and depression. You know, and the biggest problem I have is people actually understanding that or wanting to come out and get the help for that. You know, it's hard because we develop this bubble and we become very, very guarded with anxiety, where anxiety becomes an addiction because we think we need it to survive. Much like everybody says when we're talking, you know, every day is like walking through a minefield. There's no war out there, guys. The only war that's going on is the battle between our subconscious and our conscious. Our subconscious is where we're storing everything. And our conscious mind is, wait a second, we can do this. And the subconscious mind saying, no, you ain't doing shit because last time you said you can't, so we're not going to let you do fuck all this time. That's what happens. That's the reality of what happens in life. And we don't stop and open our fucking eyes and see it. It's unfortunate that nowadays that pride and ego are what fuel a lot of people. Pride and ego are constantly these things that fuel people. Listen, pride and ego serves no good purpose other than right and wrong. And if you're going to live life with a right and a wrong, there's an issue. There's no fucking right and wrong. It's what works and what doesn't work. And why doesn't this work? And let's try and fix that. Let's try and, let's go back to why it doesn't work or why it worked for me at that time. And let's start new. Let's try again. Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and again and expecting a different outcome. And that's the problem. That is something that most of us live with. That is something most of us live by. We develop these patterns of life. We forget sometimes who we are. We forget what we like, things we want to do, things we enjoyed, because anxiety takes over and it fucking destroys us. It kills us. We hide behind fear, right? And what comes out of that is anger. When you think about it and exactly what you said about being angry, and a lot of people think that you're angry all the time. I was there, and it's because anger is not an emotion. Anger is a reaction. Anger is a reaction to a deeper emotion, which is fear and sadness. So when you're living with things like anxiety and depression, how the fuck can you not be scared? How can you not be sad? Naturally, we need to protect ourselves. So what comes out of the surface? It's anger. So yeah, this is where I say, in life, you're going to come across a lot of angry people. You're going to come across a lot of angry people in life. We don't know their story. But I will tell you this. Anger is a reaction to fear and anger, sadness. So if every time you've seen somebody angry, instead of being naive, if you were to be able to become vulnerable past that anger, what would you see? You would see fear. You would see sadness. So how would that reaction affect you? Now, if that same person who came at you, anger, was their approach, if that same person came at you with sadness or fear, how would you handle them? Would you handle them the same way as if they came at you angry? Probably not. This is where I say a lot of people who come to me and they're like, oh, this person's angry and they got mad and they did this and they did this and they did that. I always say, have compassion for them. Because if you're able to have compassion for those people that are assholes, for those Karens out there, you'll see a huge difference in this world. You'll see a huge difference in your perspective. One of the best tips I can give anybody, and we spoke about this, we spoke about this a little while ago. We spoke about this. And understand, I'll explain to you. I've created this a facility, right? One of the biggest mantras I have is it's not my fucking problem. And I know a lot of people, when I say that, kind of look at me sideways. They're like, I don't understand. Like, you seem like such a different person and you help so many people and you're so giving and you got such a huge heart. And we see you cry all the time on your lives. The reality is it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person. By saying it's not my fucking problem allows me to focus my energy on what is my problem. And that's helping people. I can give people advice all day long. Whether they choose to take it or not, that's not my fucking problem. It's not my fucking problem. But I'll tell you, if you decide to not choose my advice, I will still be there to help you because you just learned a valuable lesson. So there's no sorry with me. One of my pet peeves is when people say, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear I'm sorry. There's no need to be sorry. It doesn't exist. Say thank you. They look at me like, what do you mean? Well, listen, did I say this? Yeah. Did you do this? Well, yeah. Did you fuck up? Yeah. Well, did you learn? Yeah. Then why are you saying sorry? Fucking say thank you. You just learned something. Sorry doesn't exist there, because once you say sorry, you are really messing with your self-esteem, your confidence. Don't say sorry. Say thank you. These are things that teach us, that help us, that guide us in life. And if we looked more at these things that we do, and we think it's failure, where would we be? Think about it. We wouldn't even be existing right now, because you failed since the first time you tried to get up and walk and fell on your ass, right? Can't have that mentality. We cannot have that mentality. We need to be better for ourselves. Sorry guys, yes, I am. I every Wednesday I do my YouTube live. It's on my channel. It's all in my bio. It's more guided towards anxiety, depression, and everybody that is in my app. This is part of what we offer with people that are in the program, on our Awaken program. So it's a big community that we have. We're all real talk with Mike. How are you, brother? So we're all here. We talk and discuss, and you guys get to listen to me rant for half an hour to an hour. So Joshua, anxiety gives me excitement now, and the reaction is wonder. So that's great, Joshua. That means you've been listening, you've been paying attention, because the adrenaline that comes with anxiety is the same adrenaline that comes with excitement. And this is where I said before, a lot of times those patterns that we've created will cause and induce anxiety, right? Because when you are having an anxiety attack, that adrenaline kicks in. Much like when you get excited to go and do something, that adrenaline kicks in, but it's like, I look at it as anxiety, and I want to run from it, because we're so scared of the anxiety. It's very common, guys. It's very common where when we look at how anxiety played a part of our lives, it went from having an anxiety attack and having this really intense, overwhelming feeling, to all of a sudden now, you had this fear in front of you, or you had this anxiety because of this one thing, attribute that was in front of you, to now all of a sudden it's anxiety plays an active role in my life. How does that happen? It's very simple. You went from one fear to now all of a sudden it's just anxiety, right? That's a common correlation. That's the common relationship. I have this one fear. Now all of a sudden anxiety is always in my life. I'm going to go into this again, because there's a lot of new people here, and I want people to understand the effects of anxiety and what happens. So let's understand first and foremost how the subconscious mind works. 97% of who we are, our patterns, our personality, everything that we do, all comes from our subconscious mind. 97% right now, everybody here that's watching between YouTube and TikTok, all of you need to understand, all of you right now, 97% of what you are doing right now is in your subconscious mind. It is not your conscious mind. Okay? Your conscious mind plays a very, very small role in all of this. Your subconscious mind is your memory bank. Okay? It is the programming in a computer. Your conscious mind is us on the keyboard. Okay? Language is extremely important. Now, let's understand this. It picks up all your senses, right? Sight, your touch, your taste, your smell. It picks up your hearing. It picks up everything, and it stores this all inside the subconscious mind. So it takes an object and puts it with an emotion and stores it inside of your mind. That's what it does. Now, the best example I've ever given, okay? You're at a food court, right? You're at the mall, you're at a food court. You have an anxiety attack. What's the first thing you are going to do? You are going to get up and run the hell out of there, right? You have an anxiety attack, you're going to get up and run out of there. The second that you get out of that food court and you get back into a comfort zone and that anxiety is over, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, thank God it's over, right? So what do you think it is that you just did there? There was no immediate danger inside of that food court. Yes, you had an anxiety attack. Yes, anxiety attacks are fucking horrible. But there was no immediate danger inside of that food court, was there? No. But now when you escaped that food court and you got back into a comfort zone, just by the words, the language that you're using, you created so many false realities there. Because by saying, thank God that's over, you just told your mind that it was bad, that there was shit going on in that food court that was immediate threat to your life. That's how intense anxiety is, guys. Understand that fight or flight response is activated when it's immediate threat or danger to your life. You're not talking about a little mosquito bite or stumping your toe. You're talking about a threat on your life, your existence. It can kill you. So it is very, very, very calculated, this response. So now your mind is like, what the fuck just happened? I don't understand. So what it does now, it picks up everything inside of that food court. Whatever it was you saw, whatever you were hearing, whatever you smelt, whatever you were tasting, whatever it is you were feeling at that time, and attaches it to anxiety. Without you even realizing it, without you even understanding it. Then what happens? A day later, a week later, a month later, you're in the car, minding your own business, driving, boom, anxiety. Why? Could have been a song that came on that radio that was the same tone, the same song that was playing in that food court. You didn't even realize it. So now what happens is you run away from that car, you're freaking out, you get out of that car. Now it could have been traffic, it could be that vehicle, it could be wherever it was you were going, it could be wherever it was that you were at, it could be that same place that you were in. It does not matter. Anxiety is going to just take everything that's around you and attach it to that emotion. So now it stops you from doing that. Now, the worst part is this. This is where the worst part, this is what the worst part is. The worst part is now what happens is it starts creating false realities for you. So if you want to know why you don't know who you are anymore and why it's had such an impact, this is why. Because now at that food court, you fucked yourself up. Because now the anxiety is so overbearing that you're going to tell yourself, I fucking hate the mall. I hate the mall. I hate going to the mall. You don't hate going to the mall. You hate how you feel at the mall. You hate what happened to you while you were there, but it's not the mall's fault. But now you just created a false reality. I hate the mall. What is a false reality? You're lying to yourself. What happens when you lie? It doesn't ever end there. Now what happens when you lie is you always need to be guarded because you always need to try and protect that lie that you just told. Now that lie is just going to snowball. Not only that, you are ruining your self-esteem. You know, you're really taking a shot here at your ego, at your pride, you know, your confidence. So when these false realities occur, you start forgetting who you are because all you're doing is just trying to survive. You're surviving on a false reality based on lies that you've told yourself in order to escape the anxiety instead of facing the anxiety head on and surrendering to it. Believe me, if you don't do something about it, it's only going to get worse. And you're going to forget who you are. You're not going to be happy. And you're going to continue living life being guarded and creating more and more and more false realities for yourself. It's not worth it. Being vulnerable is key. Being vulnerable is the only tool that is going to allow you to really understand and know who you are, to really teach you. Yeah, you're going to get hurt. Yeah, listen, it's no fucking secret, guys. You're going to get hurt. Being vulnerable is going to hurt you. But it's what comes out of it. Me and my wife fight like fucking cats and dogs. Like fucking cats and dogs. But it's amazing. Because we're able to learn. We're able to grow because we're naive. We do not live that naive mindset. Me and my wife are very vulnerable. we open up our minds. I told you, when we first got together, I'm Catholic, I'm Roman Catholic, and Valerie was Roman Catholic. And I grew up being, at the churches and everything else. And we have kids now. And Valerie decides that, you know what? I don't want to follow this religion anymore. And I'm more into spirituality and energy in the universe. And I don't want the kids to go to a Catholic school. Well, listen, man, I'm fucking Italian. For me, it's divorce. Like, what do you mean you don't want our kids to go to a Catholic school? And what do you mean you don't want to be Catholic anymore? I mean, this is ridiculous, right? I got angry. I reacted. But I had to stop and understand. My wife loves me. My wife would never, ever put us in a situation to hurt us. So what is going on here? And once I was able to open my mind and understand where she was coming from, I changed. And I understood that my reaction was based on fear. All my memories I had were with my grandmother. My inner environment, my morals, my values, everything about me that I grew up with was being challenged. Now, this is a reality. It was fear. Fear drove me. And I had to understand that my morals and my values and my standards were not mine. I inherited those. I wasn't given myself the opportunity to grow into myself and who I was. I took everything that was instilled to me as a child and I let it control and run my life. After I put that gun to my head and I pulled that trigger, that is the one time in my life I was the most vulnerable. The most vulnerable. Okay? And I'll tell you, a lot came out of that. A lot of people ask me, why don't you care about what people say and all this drama that's happened on TikTok? I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because life's amazing. I will never lie. I will always be who I am. I will always do my best to be the best possible version of me. And I will never stop giving up on people. And I've said that 100 times. Why? Because I know where I would be if somebody gave up on me. But in order to do that, in order to have the success and happiness in life that I'm talking about, you need to be vulnerable. Have that open mind. Do not live in a naive mindset and be closed-minded like that. Whether we're talking about religion, I see so many arguments with people about religion. Who gives a shit what religion the other person is? That's what they grew up with. That's what's working for them. Well, your religion's better? In their minds, their religion's better. It's ridiculous to have these arguments. It's ridiculous, a lot of this bullshit that I see that's going on. It's far more problems in this world that we need to deal with. And we should be coming together as one, not dividing. It makes no sense. But like anxiety, we create these false realities. And what ends up happening? Right? We create these false realities. We lose touch of who we are. And like you said, every day is a battle. Every day is a battle. Living with anxiety, we're in frontline fire. We're in the army. We got our guns up. Any little noise we hear, we're turning, we're moving, we're guarded. We don't believe shit that comes in our way. Somebody comes up, are you an enemy? Show me proof. That's what anxiety does. Why? Because it allows the sympathetic nervous system to completely take over. Everything is fucking suspect. Put your guns down, man. There's no fucking war. Listen, life is amazing once you're able to see it, right? And we're all going to have those days, and we're all going to have those bad days. And what do I say about that? There's no such thing as a bad day. You're just not paying attention to what that fucking day is trying to teach you. Guys, life is incredible. I'm telling you. Surrender. Because I assure you, and I promise you, once you surrender, everything will change. Everything will change. So when I live by that attitude of it's not my fucking problem, now you can understand what I truly mean by that. Everybody that knows me knows I have been up till 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning with people, helping them with anxiety. I will never turn down a phone call. I will always help as many people as I can. People that can't afford me as a therapist, I will always say, what can you work with? I will work with you. I will never turn anybody away. People make mistakes all the time. I'm still here with open arms. So when I'm saying it's not my fucking problem, what I'm talking about is where I decide and choose to put my energy into is going to serve me purpose. Most people put their energy into things that serve no purpose. So please be very mindful of that. YouTubers, I love you all. You guys are amazing. Keep moving forward. You can look out for the YouTube vlogs that we are going to do. I'm going to jump over here to TikTok. We're going to do some fun stuff over here. I hope to see you guys all here. I love you guys all. We'll see you guys in the chat. Keep going with the program because you are all doing exceptionally well. Love you all. Bye, guys.